This is a 2012 Mazda 5 minivan. The problem this car is having is while running it sounds and feels like a farm tractor. We believe that the problem is due to the motor mounts being worn out. So it's well known that with worn out motor mounts you'll get excessive noise, vibration, and hardness. This is a technical term, NVH. So we're going to replace these motor mounts. There's one that's visible right here, right under the water bottle. And there's another that is underneath the intake air box. And I don't know if we can get to it without removing the battery. We'll see. And then there's a third mount that's really a torque mount in the rear of the motor that we reach from underneath. Note that the mounting system for this engine in this car is nearly exactly the same as the Mazda 3. So even though this video is for a Mazda 5, everything that I do will carry over exactly to a Mazda 3 if that's the vehicle you have. This is a complete motor mount set for this car, and this is its part number right here. I will include a link to this set in the video description. And let's see what comes in it here. Very nicely packaged. Oh, let's see. This is the engine side motor mount. This right here is the transmission side motor mount. This is the torque mount on the bottom rear of the engine. And this mount, I always forget where it goes, but we'll be replacing this one too. This is another view of the 4 motor mounts that came in the kit. I'm going to start by getting the water bottle out of the way, and all it has holding it is some plastic clips that I can pry loose. The water bottle is out of the way, and all I have here is 4 bolts, 1 on either side of this bracket and 2 on the engine side, and there is a ground wire that is bolted to the motor mount that I will remove. Before I proceed, I'm going to take this floor jack and slip it under the engine oil pan to support the engine. That is necessary in order to remove the motor mount. These bracket bolts have 17mm heads. There's no need for power tools here. These come out pretty easily just with a hand socket wrench. And same for these engine side nuts. They are 17mm and they come off with a hand socket wrench. With the nuts and bolts out and the engine supported from underneath, this comes right off if it does not fall into pieces first. The new unit slips right into position. Now we do have a little problem that this engine seems to have settled into a little bit of the wrong position. So we're going to have to wrestle it, literally wrestle it forward to get it back into where it can line up. With a little bit of rodeo wrestling, I got all of these bolts started by hand. And the one caution I want to give you is make sure you thread these bolts in by hand several turns. You do not want to use a wrench or a power tool and cross thread these. Absolutely do not cross thread these, okay? And here we are, very quickly and easily done. And just remember to support the engine from underneath with a floor jack and do not cross thread any of the bolts. Now for the transmission side mount, I'm going to remove the air box. Then I'm pretty sure I will also have to remove the battery box, but let's see how it goes. So with the air box out, I've got half of the motor mount sort of winking at me. This means the battery box does have to come out. The battery is disconnected and removed. Now I have to just remove the bottom panel of the battery box. It just has a few nuts and bolts holding it. The ECU engine computer is attached to the battery box. So we do have to disconnect the ECU from the harness and remove the ECU with the battery box at the same time. Now these ECU connectors have a locking lever. You unlock the lever, pull it back upwards, and then you can unplug it. Here is the air box with the ECU on the side. And here is the motor mount, which is completely collapsed. As with the engine, I'm supporting the transmission pan from underneath with a floor jack. The bolts for the motor mount, the corner bolts, are all 17 millimeters. There's one on each corner, and then there's one right in the center, so 5 bolts total. There are also some 10 millimeter bolts up on top that are kind of decorative. They don't support any weight. I'm not sure what their exact function is, but I've removed them too. So this is an interesting design. There is a stamped steel cover plate that goes over the motor mount itself. Then the motor mount, which is the replaceable part, comes off. This is the old mount and the new mount side by side, and look at the difference. Look at how far this one is collapsed. Note that the bottom support bracket for the motor mount that comes up from the transmission has an alignment pin, registration pin, next to the bolt, and you do have to get the registration pin into its hole in order for things to line up correctly. So 2 out of 2 is done. And on the outside it does not look very different, but oh, how different it will seem when we start the engine. But first let's take care of these remaining 2, and to do these we have to get underneath the car. Here's a view of the 2 mounts attached together underneath the car, and this is how they fit together, more or less. We have 3 14 millimeter bolts right there, 17 right there, and another 17 underneath. So there's everything all new. So let's see what it feels like on the start. Unbelievable. What a difference. This car is running just as smooth as warm butter. Before it was just shaking and vibrating like it was about to fall apart. And before I end this video, I want to take another quick look at the mounts that I removed. Here is the engine mount, and you can see here that this is kind of disintegrated. And as for this one, it is completely collapsed, and this one is cracked. It's still sort of holding together, has a little bit of play. And the only one that doesn't have any real discernible damage is this one. But anyway, it's sort of a miracle that the engine and transmission didn't just fall out of this vehicle with the condition of these motor mounts. And if your car is experiencing like excessive NVH or noise, vibration, and harness, be sure to check your motor mounts and check that they're not in the same condition as these. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and leave any questions or comments below.